simulation, really, to teach us to virtualize, to steal life. It is an anti-life program. It's moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life to a digital twin of the world that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit.
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Once, don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, you're left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We got protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no posses. Spola, worshiping pedophiles. Wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Artisan irrigation and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher, nor am I some pastor or preacher. Was released represent with this passion to speak of. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs, realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? Where we should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the golem bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Nah, bro. Come on. You almost there, bro. You almost there. Survive. I do it die for Chi-Town. Who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide down. Blue sky but high ground. A crown slash helmet. So my aircraft stealth fit. Can't be tied down or even seat belted. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked that caused my hand, I dealt it. Felt the vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. It bust off of some ices and veil shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for real monkey velvet. Body you not for Mars, just a female's clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly zone, haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the silver hand, but we're Hiller man. It's not Cypress Hill, I'm Tuttle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie, I don't follow, I set standards. Catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper opera. You stagnated, well I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm dating space AC, y'all. Buster stuck in the case, face tall. After it shaped the state, use a fake, a fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing the step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, straight to adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Symmetric apparel of a fly bandit. Mohawk, aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas Carol lies what your fans get. The rose and pearls what I transmit as a transcript. Or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the pot. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew. Everybody wants to get his own crew rich. And then they want the other little people never get a piece of the pie. I don't want to go for the traffic. I go for you niggas that think that y'all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas and crackers can't stand me. You niggas just know that I know you can't do nothing if you're broke. Listen to me, young people and old people too. Mostly black people. I'm talking to you.
Sure. Y'all really thought that I was done with y'all. Nah. I'm really down on y'all. Fellas up. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow, Mao, Big Mac, where the earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. Enough with the chit chat. I see through the side eyes. Looking past the shy spot. Third eye gangs, ice pops. I don't eat pork, but I will fry cops. For foes, my heart's cold as an icebox. I'm saying die ops. From the skybox, and got scope on you pilgrims. The scope was some rules. Some of our folks are still dumb. Yeah, and blasting the fact that blood, we gon' have this real show. Warrior spirits inside me. That's where it's real from. The world's a stage, page after page. Script is played out. They keep us engaged, play king or rage. This is played out. Rules of a dying society should be disobeyed out. Forehead and knees off the floor. Should have been prayed out. The draft is on, COVID no issue. Could've loaded in tissue. Now it's control who blows the whistle, to who holds the pistols. The debacle's about who holds who the official. Disregards the aboriginal issue. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bound or whack. It's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Bow, Mao, Big Mac, but the earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. A fool is known by his speech, yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. I'm other than we, a sucker or me. Stand on 2 feet, or jump the other cheek. The wise man known by his silence, mostly disguise compliance. Silence by guidance from conspiring connivance. Other aspirants of violence, trying to fire. Trying to fight through height, I'm trying to fight. In environments of migrants, I'm hearing the sirens. Ring in my ear, they've got indictments. These pedophiles, squares, groupies, and hype men. Alignments, the assignment. I'm not the wisest, I'm not quiet. My refinement and confinement and requirements for this climate. Y'all push all the paperwork, or y'all can protest, but they can't escape this work. I vow to progress. Don't duck, no rap. Drill music for real. My soul they don't possess. Real foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them. It's personal, know what the business is. Big Mom states come full circle, so vacate your premises. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bound or whack. Here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mao, or Big Mac, but the earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. We're not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bound or whack. Here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mao, Big Mac, but the earth is brown or flat. We want our shit back. Akichiwa. Signs and symbols are for the conscious minds, y'all. And with that on the temple, Draw. I had a vision to pass not yet a circulus round, created successful reality from a virtual now. How? Stand on my square cause they usurp your power. Them same little sneaky breezes that hurt you, they smile all up in your face, all up in your space. And I ain't talking all bras but dogs with whole trace. So I walk tall kittens while y'all cross slow race. I stay focused on walking through them tall gold gates. Draw magic circle around me to keep me from harm. The law fat checks purposely will keep me up calm. Water, fire, air, earth, turn me from that peace to a bomb. Blow the joint and split the range, the plane, the centimeters. I've encompassed my inner demons. 490-degree angles, guarded by angel of shiny elite angels. Thank you, and I of course am the chief triangle. If I die before I wake, well at least I'll fly in plain view. I am my circle, how I govern four corners. Wise as a serpent for certain amongst foreigners. Out of state, out of place in the space they storing us. Learn at first hand of what fate was forewarned of us. How we call wind blowing, I spit flows dope, man. Fly in the shell at Southampton, kept slow. Stay high, years later he's the same degree, just gain density. Gave my synopsis, he's hostage. I prayed I could say I behave by logos. I've raised my moral ground. We have my character. Stay fly, the conduct squared up. Self-esteem, the day sky. New God on what the world's been waiting for. The days not. May I say and I don't abide by the same ethics. They fame, respect, and obtain the credit for keeping the obelisk erect, but with strange methods. But the epic of my name will reign and remain epic. To prescribe my passions, my squares, my lift. Ask, is it worth the ride? Yeah, it's rare, I spit. But the beach churchified, so I bear my shit. It hurt, I cried, this kitten that it tried to eclipse my soul, bounce back from it. Announce it, I'm done with being the sacrificial lamb. The jungle, I run it, thus the lion conquereth over this numbness. Made a conscious shift, even in darkness, the sun lit on you false lights. Don't have to be gold to glitter. Actors of the purpose just for show, go figure you dig. Pounding you baboon or gorilla. I'm built like a silverback with hella track, no illa max than me. Master built her back, originally pretty. Take the mask off, 360 on my square. See the circle, if not your mask off. You poemish, dash your salt. The dialogue's trash talk, your past lost. Leave a footprints in the asphalt. You've an outline correction. Last straw, I blast off, I crash off to the next zest of living. Sick release, sex, some whose ass off. When she walked the ass talk, I talk back to it like who makes your Yanni sing. Her response, she dons me king. To who they gave me the script, my ops the prescription. This is my vision's description. Listen, I'm standing on my circle is me. I absorb your hate and make it work for me. Transform into fuel as I evolve. Advance is abnormal, dormant, form and leave y'all. Right where y'all started at. Let me impart a fact. She'll be sitting in my ship as we chart the map. Thinking in destiny, the turtle and the hare. Acknowledge me as the circle and the square. Yeah. Now watch time and space rock the great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her mate, the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fake marks. Once we make knowledge more is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark, waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her mate, the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fake marks. Once we make knowledge more is when the rhyme and bass drop. I rose up, took a shower, purified my auric field, took copper for a walk to ensure my chlorophyll is pumping. Done some curls for sure, I've more to build. Solid foundation, my crown chakra core and heal. Pound the pavement, sacred ground, freedom I stand for. Free all political prisoners of war, man or woman and child, resilient of all foreign and alien entities.
In my music, and in a lot of his music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight pressure. Drop the oppressor, no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight pressure. Drop the oppressor, Ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop to your buzzer. Ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop it to your buzzer. Ain't no surrender. It's time for a change, gotta bounce up. Your presence about to get tossed up. I'm like, execution style too late with apologetic claim. You rapped in a coca flame, by God, it's overdoing your time is to the end. Knocked out silent without sin. He put me on the better for justice to win. Ill presence about to get rolled down. With some presence attached to the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger popping like Farrakhan. Backed by the honorable who sits at the pinnacle. Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the pitiful simple. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protected servers. I'm quick to pull the black blasting you. This don't take any type of skill. No, I'm ill of all citizens who have it to understand. Or kneels too late when the casket fails. Don't believe it's easy type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone when it got the dome. When it's on the zone. All red on my vision through sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I fight. I'm a phone I'll be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. All the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' lay them all, so gon' pass the kite. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor. Ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor. Ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor. Ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor. Ain't no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean it every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
Stupid. Oh shit, on the other side too? Damn, there's wrapped around this shit. I don't want to see. Okay, what's going on, guys? What's happening? So we're gonna get in a little something before I get to work here because I got a lot to do. It's not supposed to rain today. Hopefully, it doesn't leak into the panel. I got a lot to do. Should have ran on time, but I don't like going out there and I want to talk and everything. So you know, I'll go out a little later. That way, I can see if they got it. I looked online. They have a different one, but I don't know what the price may be. It's for the. It's like when I was in Florida, even when I was in the military, we had these things we used at the auto shop. A lot of us who are petty officers could take our cars, our vehicles over to the garage. We could leave it there for months, years, whatever, right? And work on it, upgrade, put a new motor in, whatever. And they had people over there who were in the Navy who were mechanics who that was part of their job. And they were excellent. Race car, they worked Indy 5. You'd be surprised if people come in the military. And so my thing is, I want to get that little, it's a thing I can hold like, a quarter-gallon paint. This is mineral, which one I'm using. I don't need to add no thinner, no mineral oil, nothing like that. So it's got to stir it pretty good. You can put that in there, and it's this little thing with a plastic and aerosol can. It's just compressed air, but this is a really strong one, right? It's kind of long. And we used to use it because you take it, you hold it on the back, and you just spray. And it was like $15. So I'm not, if I see it in Sierra Vista, I'll pick it up when I go and pick up the installation. And I think I need one more piece of plywood, but I got to make sure the funds are right for next week. We're going to go make that next trip. So today I'm going to attempt to get done as much as, from cutting 2 foot panels, 2 foot length, 40, whatever, or 70, whatever length, getting those mounted and shaped, to getting the 1.5 feet, about almost 1.75 feet piece on the bottom, so I can get the insulation and put the top piece on. But I want to do the mold paint on everything, even the door frame at the bottom. I don't know why it's from the ground. I don't know what it is. This is not regular kind of black mold, but it is black mold. It's porous, it's spore-like. It's just really weird, and it's affecting. At the store when I was talking the other day before I left out to go to O's, they were even talking about, yeah, there's a big thing going on where people have treated wood was growing mold. I don't want to get into the fabrication of what may be. If you have eyes, you see. Okay, if you have ears, you hear, and you have a mouth, you speak. But be mindful and careful. It's a very intricate time. Not everybody is the same. So when in light of that, I want to listen to a little Manipee Hall. I want to do a couple of little readings from the Power Now. I'm gonna hit that first, and then I want to get into Manipee Hall. Then I'm going to give you a little something on Helen Blavatsky, and I want to shut it down. And then I'm going to make sure it's just like 20 minutes on. I'm using solar panel to charge it up. I mean the EcoFlow solar panel, EcoFlow to charge it up. So that way, hopefully, it's supposed to be a little cooler today. It's supposed to get up about 90 or something like that, because we're getting to the changing of time and season, right? So that way I can go ahead and you can watch me do whatever it is, sweeping, blowing everything out, changing one side to the other side. I don't care if I got to roll some of the stuff out. I really, really want to kill this damn mold, especially on the floor. So if it comes down to working around it, then I'll go ahead and paint out the floor. Y'all know the plywood on the floor was treated. I mean, it been through snow, rain, water. This is what you need to listen to me. It has been through all weather and heat, and all of a sudden I put it down in the deck and it's growing black mold. And this is not, I don't know if it's graphene, if it's a mixture. I don't even care, but I know that it is not beneficial for the state that most people are in to sleep in anything like that. So I'm going to destroy it with what I know will destroy it, because the only reason why they didn't have this can there before. Me coming in, I was one of the first people, and the guy who rides the motorcycle who painted his truck, me and him converse all the time, Tony, he was like, use this, and that was the first black rubberized spray y'all saw me using on my deck. It don't go nowhere, but if, you know, moving it, chipping and everything, that's why I went with the Plexil. He was adamant. He was like, you're the first one to buy this. We only got like 3 or 4 cans. I think somebody took one to test it and nothing was hurt again. He says, but since then, and me talking like I was talking, and Johnny was there. Johnny works, he's a Mexican brother, and he's a beautiful individual. Mexican Cuban, I'll forget what he is. T might remember. But anyway, and Danny was up the street. He had surgery, major orthopedic, well, you know, that scope where they go in. He had to have 7 things to tie his shoulder, and his shoulder popped back in place. His rotator cuff was about frayed. So he was there. He just can't keep still. That's who I'm supposed to get the eggs from. I got the egg cartons. And he was like, this is crazy. He's got it happening with his chicken coop and stuff like that. So I told him what I utilized, and I said, I'll let your wife know. I'll take a picture, and that's what I did. I gave it to her because he had to get back home. You know, he's down for 6 months, so that fully heals. And going to physical therapy, OTH or OTP, whatever it's called, OPT, outpatient physical therapy. Anyway, OPPT, whatever, right? And Johnny has the issue with the same damn shoulder. But he did his casting a fucking line because he's a fisher. In my language, if I was there, like Puget Sound, the place where I fish, I'd be casting. I'd probably throw my shoulder out or fly fishing. You know what I mean? So, but he's a lot better. He just got the thing around his shoulder, and I guess he was in the army or something like that, or his sons, or the police officers and deputy sheriffs and all that. And he was adamant about the fact that they had to order in a whole lot of that stuff. That's why I was able to get a gallon, I think $42. But I really want to spray it. Now, if I on the way back, I should have been like, oh, let me get the sprayer, bro. I'll bring it back next week. Because I know how to hook it up. I know how to set it up. And I would have just sprayed the whole shebang down, man. Like, I need about the sun to come out. When it gets to about like 10, 11-ish, it's not fully dry, y'all. It's still wet. I just went in there and swept, and then he makes spider webs. And on the side and the wood, it's still wet. So when the heat hits it, it'll dry up pretty quick. But I still need to get some work done. I need to get the plywood up on top. I need to get that measured, scored, folded, tapped out. I need to get, like I said, the quarter. I need to get those 2 foot measures, and then the other 1 foot, 1 foot, and then 2 foot, and then get those mounted where they need to be shaped and carved, and then I need to get something under the front so I can get up there without it teetering. There's a lot of weight in the back, right? I'm still 200. I weigh myself. I'm still, waistline is 34. I came out here with a 38. I bought these Wranglers at 36. I got 2 more at 34 and they fit fine. I weighed the 205. Look, just told y'all I'm different. That's all I can say. I would prefer to be 185. Even, yes, absolutely. But I'm not gonna risk walking out. I can stand up. This is strong. I can pick the whole thing up from that end. It's heavy. It's when I press it. The other day before I left, I just went and pressed it up. My eyes like, oh, that's easy, 265 right there. I just know. And I didn't press it like I'm not retarded trying to tear my which calls up and everything, and my clavicle and all that stuff. So I could walk out, but would it teeter that way when I get to work? Because I'm a frame, but once I get the plywood up there, I'm gonna frame it out, literally make boxes. But I want them to be pretty much spot on because it does have a little lean. Because like I said, if I show you that thing on the bottom and the ground is so uneven that with the heat and the cold, and though I have a strong deck and it's flat, it's been allowing a little shimmy. You know what I'm saying? So I want to build a box to bring that compensation, which is not going to be a problem. So I can just tie it over that little inch that it is leaning that way. But I really, really want to get it done so that way I can get that plywood on top of that, get the front and the sides. So the back part where the door is, I still got to do the hinge. I got to round the back door. So you'll see that today. Actually, when I go over there, I'm going to move everything from the left side to the right side. All right. And I'm going to take the door and I'm probably charged. I got 2 batteries for it. Sand. I'm just going to use the sander and get that thing as round as possible. Not round, but like the bottom of the egg on the back side of it, because that's the part that's going to slide in. It's not going to create any weakness or anything like that. Right now, the door is very tight. I got the top hinge on. I'm going to put in the second hinge, make sure it's lined up. So when I put the door on, we don't have this, you can't have hinges like this. You know what I mean? Even though it's lined up by, as far as the ruler, and I put the level, everything looks pretty spot on. I still got to, what I drew the circles, I got to screw the hinge in. And then we can get the door mounted. I'm thinking I might need 1 more hinge because my door is going to be pretty heavy. And even though instead of using their little 1/2-inch dumb screws, I'm using 3-inch screws. So we don't have that you snatching the door out. And besides the flashing, and that's another reason why I'm going to round the front. You got to remember, this is all me. This is not me working with Habitat for Humanity's, working construction or hotels and homes. This is not me. Everything's not cat. I am literally looking, I'm envisioning, and I am creating R&D. And there's no serious specificalities and measurements other than the ones I feel are required to make something fit and get it done. That's it. If I had the garage and I had, my anvil and I had my, my vise and I had all those different things, table saw, miter saw, all that stuff, it would be a different story. Hell, it would be built. I'd be fine tuning, making little designs with the router, in the cabinets and all that, and getting the little magnetic and the slowly closed doors and all that. That is not the case. This is it's not even a rush job. It's to get it together first time and have it ready, and then equip it as necessary. If you come in, I found the tape. It was wrapped in toilet paper. The little toilet paper, I blow my nose with. Because I've got my bag of clothes in there. I don't want to take it out. I'm going to have a few more things to throw away, and then it's the cot, all the crap. My 13-inch TV goes up in there, and everything else, tools, blah, blah, blah. We put that to get it where it needs to go. Probably set a tote for that aside. I got a ton of garbage I got to dump. I can do it Wednesday because we're going to have more. So that way I can just get a bed full, and we can just knock it all out and be pretty secure, like we're satisfied with what's dumped. Other than that, You'll see that. Let's go ahead and get into this, okay? So we'll play Manny P. Hall. My tea. I ordered Anakinese, right? Because I eat the regular fermented soybean and the pill ain't even come. I tell you, man, this I'm not gonna talk about them in a way that is beneficial. Mistakes are mistakes. Some mistakes are never meant to be forgiven. But in order for you to move forward, you must forgive yourself for allowing it to clutter your mind and your hearts, which is kind of hard because everybody, and I said this the other day before yesterday, everybody's pretty perverted. Everybody, I mean, in a way that is cyclic and unbeneficial. It is. And I like to be around people and see that lifted away, because I'm very comfortable to be around. It's the people who are very uncomfortable because they don't know what it's like to actually be comfortable. A lot of people hold on to antagonistic ideologies, hold on to past things that have nothing to do with today. They make it relevant and they push it because they are ignorant or uncomfortable in there. And it's not that one should stop. This is where you're supposed to rise to the occasion and elevate. And it's this a thing that you cannot get by. I tell people all the time I'm different, and people, they're hard-headed. They want to be the same. You can never be me, and I would never want to be you. But I come with a few gimmicks, I guess you could call it. And I'm very aware of them. And I'm also aware, like, people don't have to say anything. I know right off the bat because I see. And that's why it's good to have these conversations and move forward and do things that allow you to change and be the beneficiary of things that are positive, to move and walk in a righteous way where you don't have to wear it on your chest or wear it as an ornament of rank and service and all that. It's nonsense because it's really non-consequential and it's non-existent. But we're going to get through a lot of that because there are people who really believe that everyone walks around and believes in their bullshit. I am not the same. I don't give a flying fuck how you feel, what you think. I will call you on your shit. I will put it in your fucking face. So let's get into the power of now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment with a new preface by author Eckhart Tolle. Y'all know the book, and if you don't, you can pull it up. I'll show it one time. Bam. You can go back and watch other videos and see it. The meaning of surrender, because people have a hard time with it and they think they can fool. Walking the earth, there are individuals who are no longer silent. Now, there are the few who are, and you'll never meet them and know them. It's just what it is. But there are those of us who are different. I don't give a fuck how you feel. It's just who remembers me doing lives. And I'm standing there in front of the tree and Page, and I'm asking the tree to come down and touch my head, and it comes down and touches my head. How about when I put my hand out 5 feet away from the branches that are about 4 feet, 5? Look, branches of tree hanging here, a foot, 4 foot away. So that's 5 feet to me. And I put my hand out and I say, would you mind touching my hands? And I put my hands right in front of me. And everybody's going, what the hell is this? But now you're starting to see it all over the place, but you're not seeing it how you think. Some of you are just not balanced. You're not in tune. I don't give a damn. You might get lucky if the wind blows and pushes it in your face. It is something different. There's a balance. But there's other things. And people will deny, just like it says in the damn Bible and all the other. People will deny with their eyes and then deny with their heart. And they'll be lost and deny with their mouth, the thing that is most meaningless. Because we are reckless with our mouth. We say shit and we don't mean it. I'm not a yes man guy. I don't yes ma'am, yes sir, none of that shit. Okay? So the meaning of surrender, acceptance of the now. That's the only moment it exists. Does yesterday exist? I would love to hear somebody explain it does and start getting into quantum theory and relativism, bands and streams and lines and all that bullshit. All right. They're attempting to merge another time frame that you can't see that is based on. That's why they've killed all the female trees and destroyed so many plants based on nature. They don't have to do it with you. And that's what they're doing, attempting to merge another nature with this nature. Because y'all so out of whack and out of tune. Would you want me to be what? Y'all, y'all, mistakes that have been made. And, your parents are so they failed us, and well, I want you to hold it too hard against them, and that's all that. Y'all don't want to hear. You want to think you can hide from some shit. You can't hide from a goddamn thing. Every one of us gives off different energy. God damn it, I say it all the time, and I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because if you feel uncomfortable around me, that's because you got a lot of bullshit with you. I always tell people that. Like, I watch people move. That's because they've got shit with them. And that means that they should be paying attention that I'm keyed in on them. This is why I'm talking about the world is a fucking playground of stupidity right now. I hate the term world. I hate that term. Anyway, the earth, right? The earth. Gaia. Oh, shit, there's so many goddamn names. But I don't hold nothing against anybody. I'm just the individual that's gonna call you on your shit. And if you can't take it, then you need to woman up or man up. Because you're in a time where it don't matter if you can't take it. You're gonna fucking get it. So you better. Damn, I got a pimple on my back. Or is that a bug, bud? I'm sorry, guys. I don't like when oh, that might be a bug. Man. I don't want to feel something. Damn. I think that's a bug. Man. They do like me when I put that coconut oil on, boy. I was put on some yesterday after the shower. Ooh, child. Ooh, I was dirty. I hope that mug was, it might have been a mosquito. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the book, all right? Acceptance of the now. Let me shout you out and the guys out, and then I'm going to go ahead and get it. DeAndre, what's going on? Millennial, mama, what's happening, baby girl? I don't know how to pronounce your name. What's happening? ML, what's up? What's going on? Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Snoo, what's up, baby? Yeah. Oh, you had to hide some knucklehead, huh? Okay, good. Yeah, this is some old goofy, probably fake Jew or something like that. What's up, baby? That's all. Anyway, let's get into it. You let them AI, whatever. The AI ain't got to answer the shit. I don't care about the ghost in the machine. All the little monkeys, they have been perverted. They have been groomed to be as fucking dumb as they are. Let them be. Just let them. You mentioned surrender a few times. I don't like that idea. Remember, this is a two-party conversation. It sounds somewhat fatalistic. If we always accept the way things are, we are not going to make any effort to improve them. Listen to the words. These are key. Remember to listen to the simple things. If this is the meaning of surrender, acceptance of the now, which most people don't. That's why you're in yesterday, you're holding on to shit that happened in the past, and you're looking at tomorrow, and you haven't even fucking succeeded in today. You mentioned surrender. Be mindful of surrender. We can look it up if you want. I prefer y'all do it a few times. I don't like that idea. Is it an idea? You'll skip right over that because you think you know what you're hearing. You don't even know what the idea means. Is it aloof? Is it aloof? Is it something that portrays and points towards something? Or is it something that may be quantitative for in the next moment? I have this idea. Well, I'm moving on idea and R&D and DIY, right? But is it sacred? Of fucking course it is. Is the paradigm of what I commit myself to, how I perform, and if I take my time, all the things that come with it, whether if I measure 100 times or cut once or still make a mistake, it's how I deal with it. Because it happened. Now, I got to move forward to fix it. Anyway, if we always accept the way things are, we are not going to make any effort to improve them. It seems to me what progress, I know that some of you are going to say, I done this for 20 years and this motherfucker's on my nerve. Well, you the idiot that stays right the fuck there. I'm still fighting for something and you have to say something because you don't know what the fuck you're fighting for. You have not surrendered. You have not given in and allowed the time of fucking now to be pervasive. I mean, it is pervasive, to be permissible. For you to not antagonize it and for you to move in a way that's going to be more of enlightenment. All right. How do you reconcile? Oh, here we go. Okay, excuse me. I jumped down. It seems to me what progress is all about, both in our personal lives and collectivity. We'll mention that in a little bit. Is not to accept the limitations of the present, but to strive to go beyond them and create something better beyond them. If we hadn't done this, we would still be living in the caves. How do you reconcile surrender with changing things and getting things done? Well, to some people, surrender may have negative connotations. Of course, because it's outside the framework of where you're stuck at. If I say, look, I'm over here, be with me, right? Like this land. Ganja was pushing everybody. I got the acres, come out, come out, come out. Nobody knew this motherfucker got control issues, don't know how he had no control, and people run all over his ass. He don't know how to mitigate he hasn't learned. You know, he talked bad about his mommy and daddy. I was like, what the fuck? You know, nobody wants to be around that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, and that's why I was always saying mommy and daddy issues. Like, we don't need them. You walk in your own steed, and if you function on the idea that you're intelligent and smart and you're doing everything that goes against nature and the collectiveness, you are a fuck monkey. You are worthless. And I'm saying that because you need to be smacked in your mouth. You need eyes poked a couple times. You need your nose pinched. You need to be choked out a minute so you can realize, oh, fuck, I am alive. Because it seems like individuals don't know the first thing about living, and they need drastic measures. I am not sorry. Anyway, negative connotations, implying defeat, giving up, failing to rise to the challenge of life, becoming lethargic, and so on. True surrender, however, is something entirely different. I can't go on no more. I want to end my life. You sound like a fucking retard. That is not surrender. Hell, that's not even giving up. That's just you're platonic in your own fucking disease and can't see it. All right? I don't care how you feel. And if you got the answer, then why the fuck you feel the way you do? So shut up and listen. That's for any of you who are ex-suicidal and all this other dumb shit. You just didn't fucking know nobody to put their foot on your neck and tell you to shut the fuck up and listen. It does not mean to passively put up with whatever situation you find yourself in and to do nothing about it. The problem is most people get stopped because they don't know what to do. They're not even making an attempt. They want people to feel their pain, and the pain that they have, regardless of what happened outside of you, is made the fuck up. I don't care if you gotta get half a new face. You now have something else to contend with, not how you got there. That happened. It's done deal. Nor does it mean to cease making plans or initiating positive action. Making plans is a beautiful thing. I want to take Snoo and a few people out to Jerome and hang out. But do you say, man, I didn't go, yo, next week, let's do it. That's a plan. That's not saying that it's going to happen. Because you know that many times when you plan something and when you set a date, anything can happen as long as you're not a liar and shit. All right. And when you become clear, you can read people lying all the goddamn time. Trust me. You can hear it in their voice. You can see it in their action. It's like, what the fuck? And most of the time for no damn good reason other than their insecurities and ignorance that they have not relinquished because they refuse to be in the time of now. The only time of now is struggle, pain, strife. And I gotta do because, and it's not the reality of the situation. Anyway, surrender is but simple, right? Profound wisdom of yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life. You can stop, you can caution. You don't have to go down every fucking road designed for your ignorance. The moment you start to open your eyes, you realize, oh, I don't have to go there. You know, it's like looking at Boondocks, you know. And here we have the nigga moment. Are y'all aware of the 1940s and 50s? Nigga didn't mean what it means today. I told y'all look up Digger Indy and all these other things, and that the fact that these incubator and baby, all these motherfuckers from the 1800s used for wars and everything else as cannon fodder, they weren't that well educated. And you also have learned that a lot of pale skins back in the 1920s and before that and up to the 40s were the most dumbest son bitches walking the earth. No offense, I'm just pointing out facts, you know, all right? So here we go. So you had to have a reversal. Not saying that it was supposed to be that way, but you got to think about who did it that way. This is where we get caught up in the conundrum of hypersensitivity. Fuck hypersensitivity. There's nothing wrong with sensitivity when it's for pleasure, for building self. And when I say pleasure, I'm talking about, I'm happy I see the green grass. Oh, the tree is majestic. That's pleasure. It ain't boinking, you know, the hot dog in the bun shit. That's something else. That's sexual. Pleasure is the sky is blue. The sun is shining on me. It hasn't been manipulated. I know things are poison, but I'm going to be optimistic. The glass is not half full nor half empty. It's just a fucking glass. What the fuck you going to put in it, or what the fuck you going to pour out of it? All right. You can experience the flow of life. All right. You can experience the flow of life is the now. So to surrender is to accept the present moment unconditionally. When I'm around people, I'm saying things. There are times I really don't want to say nothing, because a lot of times people get spooked or they feel some kind of way. They haven't really tied into their truth, regardless of what I see. I'm mindful, but I also like the moments to be good. So that way the seed can be planted. It's not for fucking me. It is to relinquish inner resistance to what is. Inner resistance is to say no to what is, through mental judgment and emotional negativity. It becomes particularly pronounced when things go wrong. Isn't that always the case? How about sitting up watching a movie and we're watching a bunch of actors and they're both fucking lesbian and homosexual, example, right? And you turn around to your husband, or you turn around to your wife. Do I do that? You did that to me last year. And you create, and you wonder why you went to the movie when you just left the hour ago from arguing about goddamn nothing. Because you haven't surrendered to yourself and say, stop the shit. And you talk about you want better. You don't want better because you only know worse. That's like every time I hear friends of mine, I got like 50 people in AAA, right? Maybe more than that. My boy who comes in here every once in a while, down in Miami, right? He's crack dealer. Everybody use all this shit, right? Anytime I hear anybody say thing about the past, like, man, I want to get a girl, man, but you know, I had the women, they was on drugs doing cartwheels and that. Nigga, why are you in yes the fucking day? Because their mind is collapsing on itself. They don't know how to refocus. And there's nobody there to assist them so they can focus clearly and tell them, bro, if I got to say it 100 times, that don't fucking matter. Maybe there's some talents that you got that can enlighten somebody. You ain't got to mention a damn thing. A lot of us now, you know, I did this and I did that. Or you're holding yourself captive. You're not enjoying anything. But for growth, sometimes you need, it's a necessity to stay away from all the things that played a part in the negation of your negative actions. Now, if something was based on finance or anything else, fundamentally, that's for you to look at and say, well, it's not about finance now. I need to go ahead and hit this rabbit. What the fuck? There's a difference. And we have this cognitive ideology that's a theory, not a reality, that I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it that way. I read this, I read that. It's all fine. But you must never allow yourself, the successor of your experience, to fail and then to deny yourself of the common things that are basically required of you. And that's all, without me being all perverted and nasty. So that way you can focus on the words and put it together. Anyway, it is to relinquish inner resistance to what is. Inner resistance is to say no to what is through mental judgment and emotional negativity. It becomes particularly pronounced when things go wrong, which means that there is a gap between the demands or rigid expectations. You're getting hard-lined. You don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you think you got it answered, and you're causing more fracture in your own being. Anyway, I know what the fuck I'm saying, which means that there is a gap between the demands or rigid expectations of your mind and what is. Like, motherfucker, you know, that's the right front tire. It got us flat. That's the left front tire. There's a balance. Oh, wait, there's a spare in the back. But your ass never took the time when you got the vehicle to get out and learn how to operate the motherfucking triangle so you can squeeze it up, put it on the hard point on a sound foundation, or gather rocks on the sand, jack that bitch up slow, wait for a little help. unscrew and pull the goddamn tire up, get dirty because you got to get dirty. You can always take a bath. But I had an appointment. Well, it seemed like you're not getting there. Why the fuck beat yourself up? Why have this stupid resistance without allowing yourself? You have to do it anyway. Practice makes perfect, right? Think about it. If I did a walk around on my vehicle, well, some things happen outside that. And if I inspected my goddamn tires, gave myself enough time, I would have knew that the radio was showing through, or it wasn't rotated. So there's something wrong in the inner, or there's a little nail, maybe some pebbles or something that have pointed in my tire. I chose not to see, and I'm traveling doing an hour with fucking 90, 100 degree temperature, and my tire blows the fuck off. Well, it's on me. I have to get out getting dirty. I should have been practicing when I first got the vehicle to know where everything is. So that way, when it comes to a time like that, I can make my best effort, our best attempt. No trial. Lazy, slothful, conveniently for your ignorant self, inconveniently for the truth of you. Play it back if you need to. Now, accepting what is immediately, check this out, okay? It is precisely at those times that surrender needs to be practiced. Practice. If you want to eliminate pain or sorrow from your life. Acceptance of what is immediately frees you from mind identification and thus reconnects you with being resistance. With being. Resistance is the mind. You control everything, and everything's easy. Millennial had a video, just magnificent video, and she talked about how, like, the way she's supposed to, and that's elevation, because I guarantee you in a month, not a specific date, we're not being futuristic or grotesque in it. And with greater expectation of self comes greater, you know what I'm saying, power, responsibility, right? We're greater responsibility, therefore go greater power of self. Now I knew there were several things I heard in there that I was like, but it was magnificent because the honesty bar was raised dynamically where there's no care in the world about what anyone thinks, especially when they bypass the fact that I am mitigating factors of positive. I am doing things to hold myself because contextually I am aware that I'm not all there and that something could, but that's also weak. But regardless of that, it was fabulous. It depends on your inner circle. And it ain't always the things closest to you. They could be the things that condemn you. After all the things feel good. And your weakness because of false aspirations would be a design of further flaw and fractureness that would put you right back into the event you left because you did not have full resistance. You did not allow yourself to enjoy yourself. And you started proclaiming things thinking as a woman or a man, I need to do this. For a period of time, you cannot deny yourself what is natural. It was magnificent. I was like getting a little choked up. Like, I like to see that shit. You know, all my people growing up, people in military shit, you know, I'm like, fucking go on, you know? But there's so much more. Now, surrender is purely an inner phenomenon. Why is that? Why is it a phenomenon? Because most people have not been nurtured to it. You've been nurtured into poison and toxicity. Everything around you has been negative toxicity, and you have acclimated and became that. You didn't know what surrender was. You just ran. Everybody runs. Or everybody thinks they're sitting still, and their brain is every fucking way they don't have no power over it. Everything is affliction. Everything's the blame. Everything to make an excuse because you have no fucking control. You have zero resistance of self. So anyway, it does not mean that the outer level, you cannot take action and change the situation. Okay, again, it does not mean that on the outer level, you cannot take action and change the situation. Of course you can, you fat-bodied fuck. In fact, it doesn't matter if you're big. Hell, what can you do when they poison everything and you're in a certain place where the experiment is strong? Unless you take it upon yourself to make change. And with that comes greater responsibility and lose the greater power, but also without proper resistance comes the ego, comes the better than you, goes the party. Let me get some steroids. Look at this. And next thing you know, you're dead at fucking 35 or 50 or 52. And when I say dead, because you haven't elevated yourself to no self, I mean fucking dead. And come back to this bitch fucked up. Anyway, in fact, it is not the overall situation that you need to accept when you surrender, but the tiny segment called the now. When you look back at the past, how many of you, and I know they have you do these writing things and all that and certain PTSD or whatever the fuck, right? So you can, but the whole thing is to find that point if you remember it. Not to harken on everything. Man, motherfucker had my leg up sideways. Nigga, I don't ever want to, I ain't like that. No. Man, I ate that shit and I know I shouldn't have. Now your ass in there with Taco Burrito Express, you know, blowing out the back wall, hitting the, you know what I'm saying? No, it's that little thing. We say peer pressure sometimes. Everybody's doing it. That's my circle. Yeah, sure. I want to be meaningful in the circle. No, you're not surrendering. You're giving into some shit. Surrender would be fuck this. I surrender. I know that I have nothing way to contain it. I'm not contentious with this shit. And get the fuck out of it. Even if you got to take a bop in the head, whatever it takes. No, I surrender that shit. It don't mean I'm gonna lay down and let you motherfucker run all over me and shit. Ravish me how the fuck you want, sister. No, baby girl. I don't like that. You know, finger in the butt. You stop that shit right there. I'm just saying. It's examples. I'm still a comedian. Don't get it fucked up. All right. Anyway, right? But these things are real. So let's check this out. Check this out. For example, if you were stuck in the mud somewhere, you wouldn't say, okay, I resign myself to becoming the bog fucking people, right? Okay, I resign myself to being stuck in the mud. So when these fake fraudulent motherfuckers come up, oh shit, after 2 years, you know, because of sulfur and everything, you look like a mummy. Look what I found. It's 50 million years old. I don't know why they got it looked like a purse. Is that a piece of corn that you know you just came with chicken in the shoebox and some corn in your purse because you keep fucking McDonald wieners in the bitch dried up looking like goddamn mummified fingers? They're going to spin a whole story like they do all these other fake motherfuckers. I'm just saying. Anyway, so stop waiting. Stuck in the mud. Now, resignation is not surrender. To resign to something doesn't mean that you surrender. You have it. Like the circle. Maybe resignation. Fuck it. Oh, yeah. You know that little Mexican thing with the motherfucker at the Mexican party? Looked like he probably killed a whole lot of folks. He's sitting there getting his goddamn pure cocaine or meth. Oh, fat 10-pound burrito eating little motherfucker standing there. Ain't like he's badass. He just went blind in his left eye. He ain't surrendered to shit. He's made resignations. He thinks he's a bad motherfucker because he's around a lot of bad motherfuckers who think they're bad motherfuckers and ain't nobody living. You don't need to accept an undesirable or unpleasant life situation. Nor do you need to deceive yourself and say that there is nothing wrong with being stuck in the mud, being stuck with something up my nose, being stuck with something up my arm, being stuck with butt plug that did eat being stuck eating some shit you know you want to spit the fuck out. I went to a Chinese restaurant over in Flagstaff, and it had to be the worst fucking one. These motherfuckers actually had the nerve to have this shit that wasn't even 3D printed, calling it beef and chicken, that I said looked like chicken guts, pigeon shit, and a whole. And I says, you motherfuckers think some of us ain't had to take survival class to know what the fuck I'm looking at? And I said, that looked like cat. I've been over there. That bitch ran in the back and dude come out. I said, bro, it came out like a little fast. I said, nigga, I will knock you the fuck out. And I'm not being violent. This is what I actually, Pearl was there. I will knock you the fuck out. And I will drag y'all back there, and I will drop y'all in your deep freezer and then back in the fucking freezer. And I wasn't playing. You trying to feed me this shit? I ain't calling the cops. I'm gonna fuck everybody up in here, and y'all ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. Sir, well, we could go ahead and make you another plate. I says, y'all can fuck off. You can keep the fucking money. And next time I come around this motherfucker, y'all better not look. I was just like that, man. And people say, I ain't no red get like that. They're attempting to bring harm. You on my land with your bullshit, I'll fucking destroy you. There's no resignation. That's me surrendering. You want to bring pain and hurt and kill and suffering with that bullshit? I will give it to you first, motherfucker, because I see what you're doing. But then I removed myself. I said what I had to say, pontifically, poetically, and then I dismissed myself. So I didn't have to act upon it because I knew they shut the fuck up, but they realized, okay, whoa. Maybe this motherfucker might be real. I'm beyond fucking real. It was an ego. Like right now, I don't feel all ippity bippity, like I'm saying something great. I am pointing out a fucking fact. Witnesses there, I wasn't a tip. They had became a blank. I didn't see them because I was like, how dare you? In my head, it wasn't the great I am, is how the fuck you think you're going to give me some shit? That's like all that shots and all this shit. I wish a motherfucker would come by in the hospital talking about, we're going to give you a shot. And I'll be like, what is it? And they say, bitch, if you put that in me, I got 150 motherfuckers that will find out where you live. You can call the feds right now, and they better hide you deep. That's just 150. That's not everybody else. And they will fucking find you. Play with me like that. The system don't mean shit to me. Anyway, I'm just pointing out stuff. That's why they got hide little monkeys. They don't matter. They'll find motherfuckers that look like them. They don't give a goddamn. And it's shitload of them. Can't say numbers. Anyway, remember it's an inner phenomena, okay? Don't get it twisted, all right? So if you're stuck in the mud, don't be that motherfucker. Don't just give up. You got to know that your shoes are unimportant. Hell, your pants and drawers are unimportant. You just got to know how to pull yourself up sideways. Even quicksand, sideways. And if you kick in like you in a pool because you feel yourself going down, that resistance you feel you feeling is actually causing you to move to go further down. You have to stop. Come up a little bit. You have to get an arm out. That's still a solid, though it's liquid. And you have to slowly mitigate the fact of pulling and bringing you sideways. You're going to go down a little bit. But to have that knowledge, that is resistance, motherfuckers. Anyway, in fact, it is not the overall situation that you need to accept when you surrender. I had to read this again, but just the tiny segment called the now. For example, if you were stuck in the mud, y'all need to remember that. Now, you don't need to accept an undesirable or unpleasant life situation, nor do you need to deceive yourself and say that there is nothing wrong with being stuck in the mud. Like you came in this world stuck in the mud. You came through the womb, through the poo-pah. You know what I'm saying? Through the poo nanny, you know, wet and all, full of life. And, you know, you came through the universe, right? Come on. You don't remember that shit. Anyway. Okay, I resign myself to being stuck in the mud. But duh, you have to. Resignation, see, not fear is not going to solve anything. Resignation is not surrender. You resign to the fact that you are in the mud, but now you must have a clarity. You must what? Resist the fact that you're going to die. You must have resistance of what you think based on what never happened to you. Now you have to make another resignation, another solution. You have to be the benefactor. That's why I showed you those few things. I hope you remember. I hope none of y'all get caught in quicksand. We have it here in our big mud bogs. In fact, it is not the overall situation that you need to accept. Remember that, people. All right. So, this means that there is no judgment of the now. Therefore, there is no resistance, no emotional negativity. You accept the isness of this moment. Then you take action and do all that you can to get out of the mud. Such act, because you'll think clearly. Such action I call positive action. It is far more effective than negative action. I mean, yelling and screaming, what is it going to do? I'm watching these idiots overseas. Oh, Seoul, Korea. Youngins go, they're getting so drunk, getting their feet ran over, all kinds of shit. Anyway. They have this, they feel invincible because they're youthful. Actually, they're not as youthful as they think. There's no resistance. There's only the idea of time and momentum and what they can get in it. They have not been nurtured to look at things objectively and systematically. They go out to destroy themselves because even though you have people who are passport guys, whatever, they're all about having sex. It's nothing legitimate about it. It's more pain and sorrow. No resistance. Nobody's sitting there because it's convenient. None, you know, let me take the crank, you know what I'm saying? And this is what we're dealing with, the illusion of life. Because they're not in the fucking now. They're in the moment. And the moment capitulates them and they get stuck because there's no rationale, no reasoning. So where they can make the better judgment, they are stuck in the fucking mud and they're flailing their arms and kicking their legs and they're going down, down, down because nobody's giving them guidance or telling them what the fuck they hear, like the truth. Okay. I decided to do that today. Okay. No, you recognize you fully want, you recognize fully that you want to get out of it. You then narrow your attention down to the present moment with mentally labeling, without mentally labeling it in any way. You already know you're there. You don't have to see it for what it is. You're there. You don't have to create more stuff and something. Remember, we want to find the nothing. Emptiness allows clarity and focus. You don't just give in. Oh, yeah. That extra little fight when you think you didn't have it, motherfucker see you in the hand, grabs your hand and pulls your monkey ass out. Think about it. Anyway, this means that there is no judgments of the now. Therefore, there is no resistance, no emotional negativity. You accept the isness, okay, boom, boom. Then you take action and you do all you can to get out of the mud. Now, as far as I just want to read that again. Now, which arises out of anger. You got to think about this because it is far more effective than negative action, which always arises out of anger. Despair and frustration. And a lot of y'all be having it, but you'll still smile on the motherfucking face. Nigga, a lot of us can see through the shit. God damn you. Anyway, until you achieve the desired result, you continue to practice surrender by refraining from labeling the now. You don't have to label the fucking moment. Nigga, you in it. Now you can ignore it all you want. That means you're doing all the other things, falling in the mud. Nigga, how you doing? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Knowing good goddamn well. In and now you have deflagrated yourself. You don't mean shit. You are walking in not how you should be walking. I'm gonna read one more paragraph and then we're gonna go into this. I want y'all to listen, Manny P. Hall. I'm gonna set it up just right. Hopefully we can hear it. I can leave right here. I really want you to listen. It's not as long as you think. I know I go to sleep to 7 hours of this shit. Anyway, let me give you a visual analogy to illustrate the point I am making. You are walking along a path at night, surrounded by a thick fog, but you have a powerful flashlight that cuts through, like the Chinese light. Anyway, cuts through the fog and creates a narrow, clear space. Narrow, clear space. Narrow, clear space. I'm gonna stop doing this shit. All right. God damn it. In front of you. Now, the fog is your life situation, which includes past and future. The flashlight is your conscious presence. The clear space is the fucking now. But see, some of you walk through that. That's it. Some of you walk through that motherfucker talking about, hey, past, hey, future, hey, past, hey, you ain't even fucking, and then you wonder why you're falling off this way. You're hitting that manhole, tripping over that goddamn log. I see it all the goddamn time. Do not talk and deal with me like I don't fucking know. I have different energy. And I know it because everybody in the Reds. I've said it in lives. My family. Everybody says Reds energy is fucking different. It's not that the energy is different. It's that I know bullshit. I know when your energy ain't up to par. Let me take the rest of that off. That's warm still. It's getting a little cool. This big glass of Pyrex. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh, take that. I'm letting it dribble. It's so good. Oh man, no honey, no nothing. I wouldn't mind putting a pinch of cayenne and pepper in that. Salt, sea salt, magnificent. Oh yeah. Okay. I need to speed up a little bit because I really need to get busy on this shit. All right. All right. We're going to read Helen Blavatsky Loud. Let me go ahead and make sure it's plugged up. I had to take the tape, move it. Let's get this over here. Are we still hooked up here? Okay. Should be at 3. All right, it's not too loud. Let's pull it up. Da bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, boom, bing. Ancient secret of self-improvement. You ready? You ready? Hold on. Do this with me. I want you to take a deep breath in your nose, like this. Diaphragm. Hold it. Exhale out your nose. Almost like a 3 count. Let's do it 5 times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. That's 1 for me, but listen. Feel a little lightheaded, right? That means you got a little more oxygen in there. You was breathing in carbon. That's right, you lazy breathers. You don't expel all the carbon with your lower diaphragm. That's why you get oxygenated.
Plato said that a country is best ruled when the best persons rule. The human being is best governed when the best part of himself leads. Now, some think the mind is the best part, others the emotions, some the physical body itself with its resources. But all of these finally come under the leadership of that which dwells within the body, within the emotions, behind the mind. What is this basis of reality? How are we going to reach it? How are we going to challenge it to come out of its strange aloofness so that it can become available to the person? One thing we find out immediately is that this search has...
For YouTube, you have it in your clause. The music is not the focus, which is a background music. The voice is louder. Don't be retarded. So that means you can either cancel it out, and we have the voice, or I could just find the one where he's doing it and go through the whole 3-4 hour charade and find that specific point, because they do dumb things.
Personal. There is no possibility of communicating this reality in ways necessary to solve the problem of the individual, except that it be given to the individual with his particular problem. So we had to find out how to reach the opening of the inner light so that something superior to mind can become the ruler of mind and use the mind, the emotions, and the body as an instrument for the fulfillment of a sacred purpose. This we have to try to discover in one way or another. In ancient times, there were various doctrines that were developed very largely for the purpose of bringing the individual into contact with his own higher nature. That there were teachings that taught him to rise above even the highest aspects of his own mind into an immediate and intimate experience of reality. One of the first things that we are told in ancient scriptures is the simple line, "Be still and know that I am God." Now, I think perhaps this is one of the most important statements in connection with man's religious life. The problem of trying to be still. Now, when we think of still, if we are bound to material things, we will simply say that the individual does nothing. That is not the answer. That is not what is intended. Intended only to become part of worship. When the individual seeks the ordinary, he can read a school book or attend a class. When he seeks to know the mystery of his own inner self, he cannot storm the gates of heaven. If he tries to get into the sheepfold, which was the old name for religion, by any way except the proper gate, he is then a thief and a robber. Therefore, the ethics, the morality, the integrities involved have to be kept in mind at all times. To be still to the mystic means to be free from the involvements of mind and emotion, and free also from various physical symptomologies that may arise, in order that he will permit that which is truly the overself to be heard. The still voice, the small voice, comes to the individual who stops talking long enough to hear it. And that is very rare, even in religion. The problem always is that we are trying desperately to decide for ourselves on mental, emotional, and physical levels those problems and decisions which can come only from something superior to what we now use. We have to some way break into that mysterious realm that has been called intuition or the extrasensory band. To be still now for us in this particular world in which we now live, it seems to me, is to cease doing that which is not necessary, not right, and not good. The individual must choose sometime to clearly face the fact that he cannot be right if he continues to act wrong. That there is a relationship between conduct and consciousness. There is a relationship between our material personality and that mysterious locked over
Conduct and consciousness. There are some of us you can't lie to. I'll sit there and smile in your face. I'll love you. I'll embrace you. But you got to remember, I will call you on your shit. I know how to do it without affecting you. I know how to go on, man, what's really going on? You know? Now, it's up to the individual. Because not everybody that asks that is meaningful. But you should know that too if you weren't stuck in the fucking mud.
of which we are seeking to understand. Therefore, it is very necessary to be still in the sense of recovering from all of those intemperances of attitudes by means of which the normal growth of the consciousness is delayed or disposed of entirely. Therefore, if we want to really understand this, we have to begin the process of ironing out ourselves to get rid of those things which interfere with the natural mistakes of life. I mentioned that one day to a man who came to see me, that if he stopped all these various attitudes that he had, he'd be better off. And he seemed quite unhappy and a little indignant. Well, he said, if I stop thinking about all these mistakes, I'll have nothing at all to think about. Well, that probably is true. But it's possible to imagine that there might be some things to think about that are not mistakes, if we give any ground for such thinking. If we are willing to gradually iron out the impulses and intemperances with which we have burdened ourselves for thousands of years and brought with us in any sequencing of rebirth that happens to us. Supposing we say that the individual who wants to get better is trying to grow because the present condition has become intolerable. The person is not satisfied as he is. He is not satisfied in what he has been, but he does not know how to carry himself into the future without dragging this rubble with him. His tomorrow is just another day in which to worry about the problems of yesterday. This whole problem of the continuity of a compound attitude has to be broken up in some way. The person has to be able to be quiet without unhappy thoughts coming. He must be able to be relaxed and think without thinking destructively, critically, or in some way detrimental to all concerned. And if his thinking is so bad he can't stand it, he has got to learn to get over the instinct to take a drink or something and forget himself. The individual trying to forget himself is really telling us he's trying to forget a personality that is impossible. And there's no way of getting away with it except by outgrowing it. Now, some have undoubtedly have been able to drink themselves to death, and hope that by this means that they have accomplished everything that was necessary. While these people belong and believe in the kind of life that we are generally living, they will feel they have got release. But to the deeper thinker, they have solved nothing and have escaped nothing. So that the problem becomes again, cure it now rather than face it later. So in the problem of getting started on this inner search, we have to try to find out that nature, in its own way, our natural compound, is essentially cooperative. The body with all its natural functions is really a pretty good creature considering everything. It has laws and rules which, if we keep them, it will keep us as long as possible.
Natural order, balance, grounded. Boy, you got sand. No, you need to get grounded. And it's not the ground. A lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna hug a tree, which is better for, I think it's 614 something hertz or whatever. Feet on the ground, especially on roots from 732 to 728 up to not whatever. It's grounding. It's recorded. And I mean, for those who want to go and study it, I'm going to share this so that way you can listen to many people. I just wanted to get that a little bit right there. Okay. Like you can pull them up. Manny with 2 N's. P capital, period, capital H. Apple. Locker. Whatever you want to call it with L. Okay. Now let me want to read this too. Excuse me. Let me read this to you real quick. I'll put a post up, but y'all know me. Okay, good. When the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. When many people have made that statement, it was absolutely phonetic. A lot of you didn't even know that that so-called fake-ass Christian crucifix, Christian crit, imbecile, idiot, and the crucifix was a talisman. Just like putting a person 6 foot in the ground. When I was telling my grandmother she wanted to be cremated, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? She says, this is what I don't want to come back. Mama, that's not going to happen. But we could have put it in a vault in the mausoleum, which would have been fine. But in the vault, they got all that bullshit, which also keeps the, you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it. So the cremation, she is absolutely free. But did she learn from any of her mistakes? Well, my thing is to negate positivity, not negativity. To negate it. So I'm aware that she is well. She is fine. Did you get me? Be careful of all these things laid out before you, because obviously they were laid out to make you redundantly stupid and weak and dumb. Whatever those 3 mean to you, that's on you. So Helena Blavatsky, y'all saw that cartoon I shared. I hope you all took the time to watch it, and showed you that the Hindu was not called an Indian. And that cartoon was roughly 1950 or something like that. 60s, 50. Late 50s, early 60s, some shit like that. Yet the woman you saw that was traveling with the cowboy, who was not the marshal, but saving lives, supposedly, when we were the only cowboys, was Helena Blavatsky, the mystic. Theosophical Society, theology, theosophy, or whatever you want to call it. Let me go ahead and read this. Chapter 7. Yes, we jumped way ahead. I read this, so thought I'd read it. Trials of a Mystic. Didn't say which. Told you who they call witches. From Haiti to the Americas. Not that bullshit in Hollywood where they over there dunking a melanated woman and feather and the duck, a goose, whatever, all that, ignorance. But anyway, scandal, slander, and solitude. No spiritual path unfolds without resistance. For Helena Blavatsky, the late 1880s brought a series of trials that would challenge her health, her reputation, and her sense of purpose. At the center of this difficult chapter in her life was a document that would come to haunt her legacy for decades. The Hodgson Report, Hodgson Report. In 1884, the Society for Physical Research, SPR, a British organization, so you know if it says British, who it was. A British organization, men of letters maybe, I don't know, dedicated to investigating paranormal claims, sent a young researcher. Now, why would they have that in the 1880s? I told you they have to figure us out. They need you not to be able to do what you do, niggas. Niggas. Need you. Anyway, Anyway, you know, a nigger actually really in the beginning meant a pale skin, a Neanderthal. And besides the Digger Indians being that reputation of those who couldn't read, I just wanted to share this with you. If you didn't know, ain't my problem. That's why back in the 40s, even up in the 50s, nigger didn't mean anything until it was pushed forward by the Zionists and utilized as a weapon by the ignorant, especially all the pale skins that kept getting off the boat over here. All right, people get you thinking that they fought in some civil war. They did not. In 1884, I had to throw that in there. In 1884, the Society for Physical Research, SPR, a British organization dedicated to investigating paranormal claims, sent a young researcher named Richard Hodgson to India to examine allegations surrounding Blavatsky's and the Theosophical Society. At that time, the Society's headquarters had been established in Adyar, near Madras, now Chennai, and Blavatsky was living and working among a growing international community of Theosophists. Blavatsky had made bold claims not only about the existence of the Mahatmas, but also about letters allegedly materialized through occult means, and some were said to have appeared in sealed boxes or manifested on walls. Now, the skeptics had taken notice, and Hodgson's mission was to determine whether these phenomena were genuine or the results of deception. The result of this investigation, published in 1885, was damning. The Hodgson's report accused Blavatsky of being a fraud, a charlatan, and the creator of an elaborate hoax involving forged letters and staged phenomena. It concluded that the Mahatma letters were likely written by Blavatsky herself, and that the entire theosophical project had been manipulated to build a cult of personality around her. I don't know. The report spread quickly and severely damaged her credibility in academia or academic and public relations circles. Even many within the spiritualist community, which had previously embraced her, began to distance themselves. Sounds like Umar. Anyway, in an era already skeptical of mysticism. Now, the accusation of fraud, especially from a respected organization, casts a long shadow for those who are unaware. Now, Blavatsky, for her part, denied the accusations. She pointed to inconsistencies and errors in Hodgson's methods and insisted that the phenomena in question was genuine. She expressed deep disappointment that people had trusted within the IDEA headquarters, had cooperated with the investigation, or failed to defend her. Now, the situation was made worse by internal divisions within the Theosophical Society itself, as tensions between leadership figures and different interpretations of the society's direction created additional strain. Now, if they created in 84 and we're still pushing in the 1880s, right, up to the early 1990s, if it's so recent, why would people be rewriting and changing? I'm telling you, they were trying to figure out what we were capable of doing, the elders, the ancient ones, and why had we done what we did and got to this point. They were attempting to harness that power for themselves, which is not really a power. But you see its effect right now. It's part of it. Anyway, the situation was made worse by internal divisions, right? Now, as tensions between leadership figures and different interpretations of the society direction created additional strain, wounded but not defeated, Blavatsky left India and returned to Europe. Her health was already failing. She suffered from chronic illness exacerbated by stress and fatigue, which kills you straight up. But she continued to write, teach, and guide those who remain loyal to her, to her vision. Now, in 1887, she settled in London and established, I should put this back on, my apologies, guys. She settled in London and established a new branch of the Theosophical movement, to which a lot of people read. They don't go back to when she was in, India, Hindustan. All right. God damn it. All right. Now, she settled in London and established a new branch of the Theosophical movement, focusing on, focusing on the inner teachings and forming what became known as an esoteric session. esoteric section. This is all new shit. Despite the controversies, or perhaps because of them, Blavatsky remained a force of intellect and will, and she understood, perhaps better than anyone, that to stand publicly for hidden truths was to invite scrutiny, projection, and misunderstanding. I expected, I really don't give a damn though. She admitted to being difficult, impatient, and at times temperamental, but she held fast to her conviction that she was serving a larger mission, not one of personal glorification, but of an awakening. It had not a damn thing to do with us, but of us. There is a deeper archetypal theme in this period of her life, the lonely path of the initiate. In spiritual traditions throughout history, those who walk close to the edge of convention, those who attempt to transmit knowledge beyond the accepted norms, often find themselves cast out, attacked, or mischaracterized, which I wouldn't give two shits. Mystics, prophets, and esoteric teachers frequently move through cycles of revelation, rejection, and retreat. Yet they would all call themselves mystics, prophets, and esoterics, that which is new. We don't do that. I just say I'm of autochthonous, of origin. And then one famous genealogy going way back, to which some things I would never mention in the way back. Because I'd rather them be mythologized, per se. Anyway, for Blavatsky, these years were both isolating and clarifying. Her circle of support grew smaller but more devoted. Her writings became more focused on inner development and ethical discipline. She encouraged her students not to be passive believers, but to cultivate inner discernment and resilience. That means to stop all the fake believing and push certain things. That means there must have had to be practices that way would assert themselves to be phonetically connected to whatever it is they were dealing with. Now, to me, it's all a belief system. Them. Okay? Her writings became more focused on inner development and ethical discipline, right? You heard that. She encouraged her students to be passive believers, but to cultivate inner discernment and resilience. That's what I'm asking y'all to do. To cultivate inner discernment. That means to know, and resilience. To steadfast in what you're learning, and don't fool yourself. Don't let nobody fool you. Now, the true spiritual path, she said, was not measured by public approval, but by alignment with truth, even when that truth brought discomfort and alienation. Now, over time, some elements of the Hodgson report were reevaluated in the 1980s, and the Society for Physical Research itself published a follow-up study acknowledging flaws in Hodgson's work, including confirmation bias and unreliable testimony. But by then, the damage to Blavatsky's reputation had already shaped much of her legacy in the public eye. What do they do here? What do? They got you all conditioned to be this. They say they can dismiss individuals. They can put them on fake trial, put the show, whether it be real or not. And you guys would buy into it, dismissing yourself, dismissing your strength, dismissing the fact that you exist. You would consummate a relationship with everything outside you, as if it's the focal point of focus and meaningful. And some would say, well, I actually watched what not to do. Nick, if you don't know what not to do, what the fuck are you here for? You don't go breaking laws, creating problems. You don't start fights. You don't sit there because you're in the military and the motherfucker slave master give you an okay to sit up there with your little equipment and everything, doing the dumb shit you do. That's how dumb the world is. You don't have to be situation normal, all fucked up, snafu. You don't have to be part and parlay with that. Like I said, this is the end. I don't care how y'all can say they're in or whatever, and I don't give a damn where you at. I don't care if you want to believe, not believe, think, accept, not accept. I don't really give 10 shits. You dig what I'm saying? I hope that was beneficial. Right now, I got exactly 51%. I need that to get up to 75. And then I'll bring, because right now, it's the sun's covered by a cloud. I've got the solar panel. I think it's like 65%. It's charging at 2530, the EcoFlow. I'm gonna bring it over here, set it up on the top, put the solar panel and plug this in so y'all can watch me doing a little working that I'm doing, starting with the door and then starting to build the frame, but getting the wood cut that's right over here, the 1/4 inch, getting it cut 2 single foot straight across. That's gonna be hell. And then getting the last part up, that on, cutting that off, shaping that, then hitting a little foam, getting the fiberglass insulation in that bitch, and then putting plywood up on that, locking out to the back. The other part I'll do when I'm doing the front part, you'll see that I'll point it out and get the door hung, make sure it hung, this, you know what I'm saying? And build this front and back. But I'm going to need some more stuff. You know what I mean? But I got to paint this bitch with that mold killing paint, because even I have to wear a mask just to be in there. Even though we're outside, that mold spores float like, you know, get stirred up. I don't need it in my goddamn lungs. The roof will be, when I get to it, there's a marina for, I've seen the Vietnamese, I've seen certain people use it, refurbishing boots. There's something I use on the deck. It's like a rubber, it's like rubberized. So you roll it on and you put out 2 or 3 coats. But before that, I also do fiberglass, where I'm using resin, 2-part epoxy resin and stuff. Get the fiberglass around the edges, you know, get everything where it needs to be at. Give it a nice little light sand, make sure it doesn't break through. But I'm also going to put some wood putty in all the crevices and then sand that, get the fiberglass. But I don't have cost fee, guys. I would appreciate somebody sending me, here goes part A and B for fiberglass, bro, you know, and I go and order a couple of small sheets of there's different kinds of fiberglass, and I want to use the one that is not so aerated, but more like like mesh, you know what I'm talking about? But that's how I'm gonna waterproof it. Besides the foam, which I have foam that doesn't off gas. I can get them in the corner, shave it where it needs to be at, get the insulation in. Just want to make sure it's water integrity is valid, but it's got to be done all over, because this thing is a big jigsaw piece, you know, and it's not inside and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying, DeAndre? Appreciate that, man. Yes, Manny Pugh Hall, Baby Girl Slaughter. Appreciate putting the Cashapp, but anyway, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Absolutely. Yeah. If you want to see your phone act crazy, come to your page. Are you serious? Let me take a look. What was it doing, man? Is it still doing buggy stuff? You know they can't help themselves. Maybe it's the shit that they bringing through or whatever. I don't know. I figured they wouldn't be bothered. I'm going to it right now, D. Let me see, man. What you talking about here? Ooh, shit. He got a new one up. Turn it down. No. That was retarded. It looks like it's all right. It looks like it's all right, bro. I mean, I look all right. I said, man, I see me. It doesn't look like it's doing anything too loopy. Was it doing something loopy or something? Because you know that's what they're gonna do. I mean, they're gonna do what they do. You know what I mean? They came in here and acted all crazy and everything. You know, they had the little retards come in like they're doing something. You would figure that they'd get it together by now. The stupid is the stupid does. They feel like if they get a little word or something apprehensively, we can ignore them. I have no problem with that, man, at all. But I don't mind saying something, and then I get no energy. Trust me. It's not even about that, but you know what I'm saying. I got to make sure I can climb on top of that bitch and not fall through. So I'm going to pull the truck up to the side of it. I'm going to see if I can skeet my ass up there. I don't think it's ready yet, though. I think I still got some more stuff to do, because I didn't build the roof really like 2x2s all the way down. You know what I'm saying? And I have some 1.5s up there too, because of weight distribution. I didn't want a lot of weight. I think that's why I can't also besides the deck. So I really, really want to get that part up top right there, score it up, measured, cut. But first we're going to start with the door, get in shape. It's going to take a little while. T-bone. And then get those parts cut out So I'm gonna measure those. I'm probably gonna take when I get this little up 75%, hook it up on the solar panel. I'm probably gonna measure the foot, 2 foot, make sure it's what I need on sides, get that nail gun up and a couple little points. That way I can go ahead and cut with the jig, cut it off where it needs to be cut off, maybe underneath, whatever. And then I can go ahead and sand that, get it where it needs to be at, and then screw it down where it's balanced. All right. And then that'll add a little more strength. Then I can get the part on the top, get that in because it's kind of crooked. So I have to measure to cut off a little part, just like a little angle like that. I don't know why. Get that measured, get it square when it needs bad, bring it down, get that part cut off. Wherever I'm going to use it, I'll use it. I'll throw it to the side. Then I can go ahead and get one of those 4x4s, big, thick, treated, cut it in half, put it up under the front for good balance with a little piece of plywood underneath, and walk out on that basket once I get the installation and everything done, knocked up, and then we can start closing that bitch up. But I gotta paint it before I completely close it. That's why I really, really wanted the spray thing. Clean it up real good, get it all, you know what I mean? And just every damn where. But anyway, we're at 140. Damn it, I wanted to do it quicker than that. And let me go ahead and get off of here. If you donate, let's see who's donating. I can shut your names out. I don't want to keep doing that and not saying who and who and who and, you know. If you donate it, I'm saying shut your names up. Everything's so slow, and these flies they're so damn retarded, man. I was looking into history to learn as much about flies as possible. There's a period when flies didn't exist. I keep telling you, I think they brought them through this motherfucker, made them. So that's just me. I'm not saying that's the case of the facts. I don't know everything, but they nasty, especially the bot flies. Them motherfuckers. They all over this motherfucker. They look like they're big, but they're not horse flies. Bot flies, you can tell what they are. And if you ever cut, you better cover it up. You hear me? What is wrong with this thing? They be tripping on Cashapp. Okay. I think I got Young Cherokee. Appreciate you yesterday. Baby Girl Slaughter. I got you. Sienna Smith. That's who it was. And Watson. Appreciate you, beloveds. All right. Already I got Thomas. He was the other, you know, he was like August 7th. So I appreciate you, all right? And invite friends. And fuck out of here. You don't want to deal with that. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down and get this charged up a little bit. I'm gonna get everything moved to one side and where I need everything, and that way we can go ahead and get things done. All right. So if you destroy flies, does that mean you are destroying? Man, shit. Kill a million of them bitches if you can. You ain't do. What the fuck do they do? What purpose do they have, T? Think about it. That's why I say I'm studying. I wanted to make sure. I mean, they eat a lot of shit. They and regurgitate. I mean, you had what's that Jew actor that doing the dinosaurs and shit, Jurassic Park, the weirdo. Yeah, well, he played the fly back in the 90s. No, that was saying something. These motherfuckers ain't natural, bro. And your energy be good, and they still want to fly and land around you and all that. Fuck a fly. So that damn thing's a nuisance, man. Shit. I destroy them son of bitches every chance I get. And I don't say that without I know something. They just they're not what people think. Is your government what you think? Japanese spotted flies, and why they even here? That's another thing. And we have some of them son bitches right here. Them motherfuckers. They're not natural. That's like Lyme disease. That was created. You know that, right? Lyme disease was created in the goddamn laboratory of scientists and shit. And they put them on them goddamn which ticks. Y'all remember that? Now you got people walking around, legs look like they got gout, all kind of weird shit, and they got to get all this toxic heavy metal poisoning. It's not a lot of things aren't natural. And I know it's hard to accept it because we've been nurtured in this shit. I'm really looking to find out where did they come from. And you know they're gonna have some exuberant bullshit narrative because you cross-reference it with other things from other countries and you go, wait a minute. It's like when you heard about German roaches. All right, well, we didn't have cockroaches here. We had hissing water beetles and stuff like that. Totally different. They put them in the same family. That's manipulation. Them nasty motherfuckers came all over there and on when they're coming on our land, bringing them Jews bringing that shit here. Yeah, they brought that shit here. Ellis Island. I remember they had to fumigate that damn thing a long time ago, or however they did it. This is this is some bad stuff. You know what I mean? It is like, even though they annoy me, I'm not distracted by them. That's why I'm researching, because they just look like they fly to die. I don't get that, man. Whatever death is to them. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, again, I appreciate you guys. You know where I'm at. Let's go and get this set up so that way I can get out here and do what the heck needs to be done. All right? That's beautiful sisters and my brothers. Get y'all here in a little bit.